Hey everyone, welcome back to another F1 2021 video. Before we begin, please do leave a like on these videos if you enjoy watching them and if you've enjoyed the series so far. If you haven't seen the other videos, please go back and see where this journey began back in Season 1, or just check out the beginning of Season 2 if you want to. If you do want to let me know what you think, please do leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think of the videos, what you think of how we're doing in these seasons, if you've got any ideas going forward, not only about this game but also about other games you want me to play as well. If there's something you want to see, let me know in the comments and I will try and give you what you want. Also, if you are coming back regularly and seeing these videos, please do think about subscribing to the channel. Would really help it to grow. It would really help me out a lot, and I would really appreciate all the support that you guys can give me. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So we have just come off our second win in a row. We had two mechanical failures, one in Austria and one at Silverstone, both ICE issues. Don't know what happened there, but we lost two engines in two races. But then we came back at Spa. We got a win in Spa in the wet, and then we went on to Monza as well, and we also got a win there. So back-to-back wins gets us back up to our best. Now we're back at the facility getting ready for the Russian Grand Prix. We have to renew one of our sponsors, so we are going to go with Slingshot Fuel. We're doing relatively well now in these races. I feel like backing myself, so we're going to go with them and try and achieve podium finishes. We were just going with the ones that gave us guaranteed money for interview questions, but I found that since the beginning of Season 2 we haven't really been doing too many interviews, so that money's been harder to come by. But I feel like we could probably push for those harder ones and try and get some podium finishes and make some more money.
How do you want us to deal with this one?
Well, anything to do with resource points I'm happy to go with, so we're going to pay the money.
To pass on their thanks for helping out.
No worries, 50k is nothing, and 400 or just under 500 resource points is a lot, and we're going to need every point we can get for when the regulation changes come through. Quick turnaround here for the Russian Grand Prix, so not much to really do there. Basically just the sponsorship deal, and try and build up some more resource points and our income moving forward through the season. As you can see, we've got almost 5,500 resource points. We want to just keep saving them for regulation changes. Friday practice obviously went well. It always does. We always get the most out of it, which we need in order to really become competitive. Probably in the Season 3. We want to be competitive now, but I think at this point we sort of want to start looking for how we can optimize our start to the next season, which hopefully the rate that we're going could be a season where we become competitive for the championship. I'm not sure if we're actually going to be able to. That maybe we have to wait till Season 4 until we can get to that point, but I feel like Season 3 could be a good season for us. As we head into qualifying now here in Sochi, it is wet again. This game loves throwing wet qualifying sessions at me now. Third one in a row. This time full wets, not inters like we have been in the last two at Spa and at Monza. So a little bit different. I haven't had a whole lot of experience with the wet tyres, so this is still a little bit of a learning curve for me. I find I push too hard in the wet. Normally I would be quite on the dries. I'm usually quite conservative, and I try to at least hit the line rather than go for speed. But when it comes to the wets, there's such a massive difference that I'm just carrying too much speed into all those corners, and I just can't get around them.
There's only one lap of fuel remaining.
Yep, that's cool. It's only qualifying. I'm not too worried about it, Jeff. But yeah, the car just feels like it's going a lot slower than it is. I feel like I'm going really slow, but I'm still going over 100 k's into some of these corners, or at least the game's saying I'm going that fast. But yeah, it's sort of it's different. I'll say that much. As you can see, we're struggling to get around a lot of these corners, and Alonso just breezed past us there. I mean, we're still a second faster than our previous best time, but being better than our previous best isn't really counting for much right now. We come around the final two corners and Alonso is just gaining time on us. We're going faster than our previous lap, but Alonso's pulling away. 155 there on that lap. Just showing really how hard it is to drive on those wet tyres when you haven't had the experience, but the track has dried up a bit. We're now on to inters, and this should be the lap for us. We've got enough time for one more lap. We probably don't have any enough fuel left to carry on after this lap, so we can at least get this lap in, and this one here, well, should be a lot better. I mean, we're 1.3 seconds up. The wet's just not a good tyre for me.
Fuel remaining.
And look at that, straight away, purple through sector 1 on inters. I mean, not straight away, this is the third lap on these inters. But still, sector 1, purple, with 3 seconds up in our previous time. Got a little bit wide, we managed to hold it. At the moment we're sitting in last with our wet weather tyres, with the time we got on those. So anything is going to be an improvement. And this looks like it could be a healthy improvement on that time. As it appears most people now would be on the inters. We're purple through sector 2, so maybe there aren't that many people in the inters, although they should have changed now and be doing their lap. Maybe we're just one of the first ones to be going through on the inters. 7 seconds ahead of our previous time. We've got 2 corners left. We go wide. We don't have to worry about Stroll slowing us down though, because he's too far ahead for that to really cause any issues. A 1:47 gets us the fastest lap as of that point, but it is not good enough for pole. 1.3 seconds off the pace. P9 for us, P10 for Button. So, and he's about 3/10 slower than us, so not too bad. But it's still going to be a battle to get through to the front.
Welcome one and all to today's Grand Prix here in southern Russia. A beautiful location besides the Black Sea, and a race that has historically been dominated by the Silver Arrows. Mercedes have won here 6 times since the first race in 2014. Can someone else muscle in on that record here today? Built on the shores of the Black Sea, the Sochi Autodrome is a 3.6-mile tour around some of the venues built for the 2014 Winter Olympic Games. Close barriers may make overtakes more challenging, but with 56% of the lap taken absolutely flat out, we certainly won't be wanting for pure speed. A fitting arena then to do battle at the pinnacle of motorsport. Anthony Davidson, thanks for joining me once again for the Grand Prix. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? Looks like they've got a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, the captain, Button, Ricciardo, Verstappen, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and George Russell, Gasly, Giovinazzi, Lando Norris, they've taken a grid penalty, and Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Stroll, and Guan Yu Zhou, and Esteban Ocon. Mazepin, Latifi, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Schwartzman and Fernando Alonso rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Well, that's the whole plan, Jeff. Try and get further up the points table. And so it looks like about 5 drivers are all taking grid penalties. That actually pushes myself and Button up to P6 and P7. So we've actually gained 3 positions there thanks to grid penalties. So hopefully that helps us out as we're starting the race on the mediums and then going to the softs. It's a strategy that's worked well so far. As we've got 5 red lights and we're off and away here at Sochi for the Russian Grand Prix. So hopefully our medium to soft strategy works out for us as Sainz comes across and we get a little bit of contact there on Sainz. We managed to get up the inside of him though, heading into turn 2. Now we're on the mediums with Ricardo. Ricardo's running the same strategy we are, I'm assuming, unless he's going mediums to hards, but the mediums at this point in the career should be able to go the distance for him to get onto the softs, so that could be an interesting run at the end if we're up against Ricardo. Soft compound versus soft compound. It could be a good one, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Running P5 at the moment, managing to maintain pace here with the front 4. Looks like Perez's got a good jump on Hamilton and has jumped into P1. Leclerc's up in P3 for the Ferraris. Bottas just in front of us, so Mercedes at 2 and 4. They've dominated this track for as long as I can remember. Let's see if they can dominate here again today. Coming around into the final stage of this lap. Coming up towards 17 and 18. Taking these corners relatively well. We've locked up a little bit, but we managed to recover it, reasonably well. Lap 1 completed. We're now P5. We managed to gain 1 position out of that, which is good considering we are on the mediums. We've got a decent gap to Sainz now on lap 3. 1.4 seconds. It is slowly building. Ricardo's 3.2 seconds behind. The medium's not working for him, but the mediums are working pretty well for us as we've got DRS on Bottas. We go around the outside. Purple through sector 2. We lock up the wheels. Heading into that little chicane there at 13 and 14. But that's P4 for us now. We're carrying a bit too much speed through these corners. But we have built ourselves a decent gap to Bottas now. He will end up getting the DRS on this next straight, but we're going to have DRS on Leclerc as we go across the line. Purple for sector 3, posting a fastest lap on the mediums once again, thanks to that DRS and the ERS that we're using as well. Just trying to exhaust? Yeah, basically trying to use up all of the resources that we have at our disposal, or that we can use each lap, to try and maintain pace with these guys. Because that's the name of the game. The name of the game for us on the mediums is to just keep up. If we can pass these guys and build a lead over the rest of the grid, that would be ideal. But right now all we want to do is just keep up with them. If we can at least keep up with them as we make a move on Leclerc on the outside.
Nice move.
But he comes back. He locks up the wheels. He dives right in there, desperate to get that position back, and he does so. Displaces us again. We go up the inside. We have to pull out there. We have a good run there. We just didn't quite have the angle. Had to put on the brakes. So a good little battle there with Leclerc, which ultimately comes to nothing. But definitely be putting him on his toes as we just try to keep up with these guys on the mediums. If we can keep up with them on the mediums, then we should be able to run away with it on the softs. At least that's the plan, that's the strategy. sparks coming out of the back of Leclerc's Ferrari there. We're only 3/10 behind him. That gap doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. Hamilton and Perez still up ahead. We're still managing to maintain a decent distance to them. They're not running away with it as we get a good run there on Leclerc. ERS enabled. We're side by side, heading down into well that was turn 5. We managed to get past purple for sector 1. We're now up on the podium. P3, and there is I think our first track limits warning there. Just got to watch out for those track limits. As we take another look here, we get a good run, we get the slipstream and the ERS. We are side by side heading down to turn 5. We do have a little bit of a corner cut there, but the stewards allow it, and we did cut Leclerc off a little bit there at the end, which gave us that big gap. We've got now 1.4 seconds to Leclerc. It's now just a battle between the top 3. We go around the inside of Hamilton. A good run there. We've got no ERS. Well, a little bit of a slide. Oh, we managed to hold on to that. That could have been disastrous. That could have been an early pit stop onto some hards and a brand new front wing put onto the car. But luckily we managed to save it. We do lose the position, and we now have lost all of that gap to Leclerc. But we managed to save the car, which is the main thing. We've still got plenty of time in this race to catch up and pass them. And catch up we do. Lap 11 now, we are within half a second of Hamilton. Really starting to get a feel for this track now and the way this car can perform as Hamilton's heading into the pits. That looks like an early pit stop for the AI. 11 laps.
Okay, the gap behind is 1.8 seconds.
Okay, the gap to Bottas is quite big. Mind you, Hamilton probably going into the pits early as to not double stack with Bottas. Leclerc has also gone in, so it looks like the AI is heading in to the pits now to go onto their medium compound tyres. Ricciardo 11.3 seconds behind the other medium compound driver, the only other one that I know of at this point. He'll be going in later to go into the softs along with myself. I don't know if he'll really be in the fight when he's that far behind. And it looks like Perez now heading into the pits, so this should be where the rest of the AI on the soft compound tyres head into the pits now. We now have a clear run at this track. Perez, Bottas, Sainz all in the pits going onto medium compound tyres. We are off and away. Ricciardo now takes over second position, 12.1 seconds behind us. We've got a massive gap now to second place. But in saying that,
the teammate behind is 28.5 seconds.
Button is still trailing quite a ways behind us. But that just seems to be the way things are going for him at the moment. I don't think this car's quite up to the standard that the AI can really do a whole lot with. It really just comes down to the way the player drives at this point, so we're utilising as much as we can. Ricciardo now into the pits. Perez will take over second position. He's now our effective race leader. 7.6 seconds behind. He is gaining on me very quickly with those medium compound tyres. Fresh mediums, we're on old mediums.
You at a rate of about 2 seconds a lap.
That is not good. 2 seconds a lap is not a good, just not good for us. And as we take a look, we've just finished, coming around the end of lap 15 there, and he's now within 12 seconds of us.
Push now.
So we're heading in this lap. 11.9 seconds the gap to Sergio Perez. It was about, what was it, 17 or 15 seconds before. Now it's only 11.5, so he is gaining on us so quickly on those new mediums. We need to get onto the softs as soon as, so we need to get around this track as quickly as we can right now. and get onto those softs so that we can get back out on the track and fight our way back up to the front of the pack. And look at that, now it's only 8 seconds the gap. Oh, we go into the pit lane very fast.
Slow down,
Too fast.
the corners. We don't want to get a penalty.
We did get a corner cutting warning there since we came back out of the pit lane onto the track. But that is only the first one that we've had, so we're okay with that. Perez goes past us. This pit lane is so long. They're all passing us now. We're back in P7.
Complete. Go
2
now.
second pit stop. There we go, boys. That's what we needed, a quick pit stop.
Look after these
Alright.
tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Full speed on soft compound tyres now, out of the pit lane. P8. We're on softs. Everyone else on the mediums. But the gap just to get to Verstappen is 12.5 seconds now. They're already up at turn 5. We're still coming halfway around turn 3. This is going to be an absolute mountain to climb if we want to get our 3rd win in a row. If we want to do the three-peat. But we're going to go for it. We want to get maximum points for the rest of the season. We want to be really competitive. As Nikita Mazepin now is out of the session. Looks like he's parked up at turn 1. So we go back and we take another look. So here he is coming around the last 2 turns. And just a mechanical failure there at turn 17. Don't know what would have caused that, but that's him out of the race. So we go purple through sector 3. That's a promising sign.
Jensen is coming in for his stop.
So Button is now coming in for a stop. I'm assuming he was on... No, because I'm sure he already went in. So he must have had some sort of front wing damage or something for him to be going in. That would be his 2nd stop of the race. So I don't know what's going on there. But we are slowly gaining on the guys at the front. We're right behind Norris now. We've got 11.2 seconds or 11.3 to Verstappen. We almost go into the back of Norris there. After going purple through sector 1, he is all over the place. Just trying to defend us, or defend against us I should say. His teammate Ricciardo 6.7 seconds behind me, so Norris trying to maintain this position as much as he can, but he just can't. We've got DRS on the straight, on the soft
Great
compound
maneuver.
tyre.
You made it look easy.
Straight past him. We go red through sector 2. After all that, we went red through there. But that's alright, we have gained a bit of time on Verstappen. Verstappen, we're now got down into the 10s. From the 11s down into the 10s. But it's 11.3 just to get the sign. So just to get into the top 5 is 11 seconds. And we've got another 9 laps to go here in this race. Purple through sector 3.
That's a new fastest lap of the race.
Brand new fastest lap. 1:34.4. Verstappen now just over 10 seconds. We've got signs down to the 10s now. Making trails here. Lap 19. Purple through sector 1 and purple through sector 2. 8 seconds to Verstappen now. Now we're really starting to turn up the heat. We're starting to pick up the pace. We go wide and we get another fastest lap. A 1:33.5. Only green through the final sector, but only because we went off at that very last corner. We went wide. Lucky not to get a track limits warning there. But in 1 lap we've managed to gain almost 2 seconds on the leaders. 8 seconds to Verstappen now. 8 laps to go. We need to gain a second a lap just to catch up to him. Hopefully they keep squabbling up the front, and that gives us more time to catch up to them. 6.5 seconds now the gap to Verstappen, so we are gaining almost 2 seconds a lap on them now.
6.2 seconds.
These tyres must be in the absolute perfect heat zone.
You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up.
I didn't even notice that, but Norris, who was just in front of us only 2 or 3 laps ago, is now 7.5 seconds behind us. And Ricciardo's on the hards, so Ricciardo went from the mediums onto the hards. So he is probably not going to be a factor in this race anymore as we go wide. We almost hit the wall there at turn 16. But managed to keep it out of the wall as we come around the final corner. Lap 23 now. We can now see the cars in front of us. Verstappen's only 2.6 seconds ahead of us. We've gained about 4 seconds on them in the last 2 laps. I don't know if that's come down to our strategy or our car, or if it's just the fact that they're all sitting up there squabbling with each other and just slowing each other down, which is giving me the chance to catch up. But I can see, I can just see the tail end of that train heading around that corner, heading around turn 4 there. But this is an interesting scenario now.
We're leading our teammate by 44.0 seconds.
And Button, of course, way behind. So we're not going to worry about where he is right now. He's running his own race. We're running ours. As Norris is on the map, is out in the middle of nowhere. There's huge gaps. There's the 7 cars up the front here, which are all within a decent amount of time. And then after that, you've got Norris, Ricciardo, the 2 Alpines.
2.3 seconds.
All just like massive gaps between them, like they're all just doing a practice lap basically. They're all that far apart. Well, we're now up 2 seconds to Verstappen. So we come up to turn 17 and 18. We can carry a bit of speed through here. If we get this one right, set us up for the straight.
This pace is strong, but be aware your tyres need to go the distance.
Okay, so we were 1.5 seconds slower that lap, and it looks like we are causing some pretty severe tyre wear at the moment, but that's okay because we've got to push. We've only got 3 laps left now. Lap 25, Verstappen 1.1 seconds ahead of us. We're almost within DRS range. And we've got about 2.5 laps left. We could be on for a podium finish here if we just keep it together, don't make any mistakes. We've got a good run on Verstappen. We've closed the gap to less than half a second. We're 4 tenths behind him.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
DRS, we've only got 3 laps worth of fuel left, but we're only 2.5 laps left in this race. Verstappen's got DRS as well, and it looks like he's also probably utilising the ERS, but that's alright because we've managed to catch right up. We can now see our way into the podium. I can't see Perez, but I can see everyone else. I can see P2 through to P6. We get a little bit of a run on Verstappen. P6 heading into turn 17.
Nice move. Good job.
2 laps left, and we are now in the fight. As we take another look at that move, we go quite high on the edge there, which sets us up well for a nice late apex there. We managed to get right around Verstappen. Easy as you like, he comes back. But we have the inside line. A lot of dust being kicked up there by Sainz, and also by us there. We managed to get the job done. P6. Now we've got to try and get ahead of Sainz. Sainz, he goes off to the side. He's trying to figure out where to go. He's all over the place. He brakes. He brake checks us. And we now have front wing damage. This could be a massive game changer for us. DRS, we're not going to have the handling. We're probably not going to have the speed now. As we take a look, Sainz couldn't figure out where he was going to go. Went defensive, cut back, brakes, and then brakes a second time right into the front of us. It doesn't even look like from that shot we took any front wing damage. The front wing looked no different before that hit and after that hit. But somehow we've done enough damage that we just cannot maneuver this car. But we can't go into the pits. If we go into the pits, we're just going to give up positions with 1 lap left to go. So we're going to stay out. We're going to try and fight to maintain what position we've got.
Final lap of the race.
Verstappen's going to get DRS on us here. We're going to go defensive on the inside. We're going to try and just keep him behind us as much as we can. But the straight's just too long. But we managed to keep him out. We managed to close the door on him heading into turn 2. He has to back out, so we're still in P6. We're going to have to go as defensive as possible through some of these corners. Try and open the door a little bit for him and then close it so we can't get through. But we go wide there because we just can't handle it. We have to brake early, and Verstappen takes that position we touch.
To stay with him, he might make a mistake. We could still regain the position.
Probably not, Jeff. We've got the front wing damage is just too much. Now he's going to run away with it. So we are the best we can hope for now is P7, unless.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Cool. Thanks for that, Jeff. We've only got about half a lap left. So unless there is a extremely late retirement in this race, we are essentially going to be just holding on for P7. The last 2 corners, we put up a good fight. We could have been on the podium, but not meant to be.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
That late tap on signs just causing enough damage for that to be the end of our race for us. P7.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
So a good win there for Sergio Perez and Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton manages to get P3, helping him with his current championship campaign. We get the fastest lap and a P7 finish, so we get 7 points out of this race. Verstappen only just finishing ahead of us, getting 8 points. So Hamilton is going to extend his lead, or at least I would assume, thanks to that finish. Button starting P7, finishing P12, having to do, oh, he did 1 stop. I thought he did 2. Doing 1 stop, and it was a relatively late stop as well, so I don't know if maybe he started on the hards and I didn't see it. But thanks to that finish there, and the fact that Ricciardo finished further back, we actually now jump ahead of him into P5, 102 points. Lewis Hamilton still out in front, 33 points ahead of Sergio Perez, who jumps ahead of his teammate Max Verstappen, and also jumps ahead of Valtteri Bottas. 42 points and 45 points behind respectively. No change in the constructors. Red Bull have closed the gap to Mercedes by I think a few points, but it's still just a 2-horse race at this point. We hopefully can maintain that P5 there. Alpine are 33 points behind, so if we can just keep them at bay, P5 finish for the constructors this year, very doable. So that is probably the goal at this point, is to try and just maintain that. That'll be the highest position we can get in the constructors, so that's what we're going to aim for. But yeah, P7 finished today. We had it was all on for a podium right up until that collision with Sainz. Not very happy about that. He braked once and then eased off, and then he went on the brakes again and brake checked us into a P7 finish. But that's just how it is. We could have avoided that, but yeah, it was. I think that was. I'm gonna say that was both drivers at fault there, but yeah, we could have done a lot better in this race. But it is what it is. We'll take P7. It's better than a failure. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. I would really appreciate that. If you are enjoying the series so far, consider subscribing to the channel. It would really help me out quite a lot. And please do let me know in the comments what you're thinking of this series, what you thought of each of these races, what you think, what are your thoughts going forward. And if there is anything you would actually like to see on the channel, please do let me know in the comments. I do enjoy reading them. I do like seeing all the interaction on these videos. And so yeah, that is the end of this race weekend here in Russia, here at Sochi. Hopefully we can get some more points in the next race. We didn't do the three-peat, but at least we're back in the points consistently. And we'll see how things go in the next one. I'll see you then.